What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely terrific. Hope you guys had a great weekend. And we are back at it again after a nice bullish Friday to save the markets last week. So let's see. Start with the weekly candle. Looks like we are gapping up slightly, but we're above the 618 that we were watching for on Friday. Yeah, little decent weekly hammer on the SPY. So again, location of hammers probably matter a lot more. And we did run up into this hammer, so we'll have to see what happens. But pre-market, we're slightly gap and go inside last week's range toward the high of Friday. And the question is going to be, can we get through it? But what I do know is we got the A team in the house. Good morning, CJ. We got Albert in the house. Good morning, Alex. Alex Newton, Bill, Brian Thompson in the house. Dale, good morning. Emily, triple dollar sign Young, good morning. Fayaz, good morning. Franco, Greg Gilbert's in the house. Gurleen, good morning. We got Jason P. King, Jay Linda, good morning. We got Jill, Kevin, Lauren, Lucian, Mark, good morning. Remco's in the house. We got, oh man, my whole list just got moved around. We got Kevin Stone, JT. I think I missed a whole bunch of people. Liza, good morning. We got Lucian in the house. Mark, good morning. We got Rock Ron. Wally, good morning. All my YouTube peeps. Richard Jet, good morning. Brian Davis. Raul, Daniel, Anna Day, Mira. I think I always say that wrong for some reason. I don't know. Brian, good morning to you, everybody out there in YouTube land, just lurking in the background. Richard Jet says, "What's going on with the brain scan?" It's in the works. I believe there's a form if you have not seen the presentation. There is a form I think you have to fill out for the brain scan to sign up, and then I believe they'll contact you. It's a process to get it set up because they have to do it individually, but so it'll take some time, and then we got some pretty exciting things that I'm looking forward to around the brain scan thing. So it is definitely happening. As I mentioned, we have the SPY gapping up. So technically it's a little bit of a retest gap. We are inside day on the gap as well. So 413.56 has been my number forever. I think you guys are probably tired about hearing it, but we don't break out, so I got to keep mentioning it. So 413.56, I'm looking for a close above there. We are in some high volume area. Could be a little choppy out of the gate. But at least for right now, I don't think I have a reason why the bullishness can't continue from Friday. Pretty strong gap and go. I'm thinking, and this is my thought process on Friday. We'll see if it plays out. But I was thinking today we get a little bit of a retest pullback. Again, I would look at that VPOC as an interesting area. I don't get the exact numbers of that in a second. I want to move my chart over. There we go. Now I get the pen on the same screen. But even if we hit like a 50% retracement, something like that would make sense. Let's come down, retrace, and then in a worst case, kind of bounce back into that zone, potentially breaking out. So we'll have to see. We do have some more earnings coming out this week. There's a couple of companies, but the relief rally came from Apple. So we got through some of the bigger ones and some of those companies, especially like Apple, that has the ability to move the markets. I cannot take this off the screen. Annotate. Where's it going? Well, let me try this again. I think we're stuck. Uh-oh. Zoom. Something's happening. Not on a Monday. For some reason, that little pen thing I use doesn't want to come off the screen and I can't move it. Interesting development. Short Zoom. Short them. I have no clue. Well, I guess we get to keep the we're just gonna look at the SPY on the daily all day with that annotate. Yeah, usually like I'll hit the annotate thing and then a little pen comes up. Hmm. I don't even see another option to undo it. Hold on, let me do a stop screen share. There we go, and then I'll just redo it. Maybe that will work. That's my only other option. I've never seen that happen before. All right, we are back. Yep, and now it's popping back up. I don't know, bizarro worlds. Let's check out the cues, see what's happening over there for this morning. So, not gapping above the close of yesterday. Again, cues, everything tech has been strong. I'm kind of starting to see a little bit of rotation into some of the other smaller companies, smaller names, as definitely bigger tech, especially bigger tech, has been leading the way. So we'll see. But that was a really, really good close. Again, I'd probably expect more of a pullback on this one. I'm so terrified to use this pen thing right now, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. If we could get like a 50% retracement, something back into this zone, that's where I would like to see us hold up and bounce. And if we could get a little extra selling, it might come down into that little VPOC area right there. So that was a developing VPOC, never really got hit. That would be a little bit more than half the candle. So maybe about the 618 actually. So that would be a really, really nice spot. 319.61 if we could get there. Otherwise, at least I would like to see, and I would imagine after a strong day like that, you get some selling, but that was a very good close. If we get the selling, I think it is by the dip. If we could get there. So we'll have to see. Otherwise, yeah, this 320 that matches up kind of with that too. So somewhere in that range would be a really good pullback spot to go long. If you felt like you missed it on Friday, if you did not take any action from that bull move, that would be the spot to do it. Let's see. What am I missing in the chat? Rock is in the house. We got Meta and Tesla from Ron. All right, Meta and Tesla. So yeah, Meta still definitely starting to break down. Big gap fill. I think bearish is still the direction. Only thing today, be careful of. You are right at that 10 EMA. So you are there on the daily and you're just sitting inside day. So we have a little bit of a gap and go, but it's still gapping and going inside of yesterday's range. So it's not as effective. Plus, we also did have 3 down days before Friday's green day. But that being said, it is a little weaker. What I would expect or what I would want to happen is see if we could actually bounce up a little bit, come into maybe the close. So if you're looking to short this thing on the gap and go, I don't know if I'd be the first one to take the break, especially with that support there. But let's see if we can get this thing to get back into at least probably the open of Friday's range. And that might be a spot to consider, or someone like right in the middle. So let it retrace a little bit. Then if you want to go short, that would give you at least better risk reward. But it's coming off the 10. We are at the 10 at open. We've had a few days down and we had a little bit of a high wave. So this could be a good opportunity to actually take advantage in the long direction if it wants to break. I don't know that it will, but coming up here, getting some kind of retest and then rolling back down to kind of continue the pattern would make sense. But again, if you want to short it, it's here. Today, Meta's going to be probably a do nothing day for me because of we are inside that, but that would be your short opportunity. And then if we start really breaking the close on Friday, that's going to give us our move at least back into that previous VPOC, which would take us to 236.88. But meta today for a day trade basis is probably going to be a little bit tough. We got the Tessie. All right. I guess we can move those lines. Tessie with a good gap up. This is a retest gap. I'm waiting probably about probably so I could just miss the entire trade realistically. But I'm waiting for that 175, 176 area. That's where I'm going to look to go short. So I am hoping we can get a little bit of a further push higher, but I'm not playing it bullish. This should be a retest gap. I would expect this thing to fade. Maybe on a day trade basis, we'll play that fade. But if we can get especially we can get a good couple candles, and especially if that lands in the 175, 176 area, which I don't know that it does, that's where I'm looking to get some puts with a little bit more time on it on Tesla. Just that would be a very good spot. This one's coming a little bit soon, and we're gapping into what was that kind of pre-market, not pre-market, but resistance from the overall uptrend. So we had a decent uptrend on this thing, and we're gapping into it now. Again, around that 176 is really where I want to take out some longer term puts on it. For day trade basis, this should be a retest gap. I would expect this thing to fade. I would really like it. I'm going to watch for probably a 3-minute green candle. And if we get it, that should give us about $3 to the downside underneath it. So we will see what happens on that one. Lately, for some reason, the candles have been ginormous out of the gate on mostly everything. And you're like, well, now what? All right. Fiverr. I haven't seen this one in a minute. I don't think any bulls have seen this thing in a minute. It's just been absolutely crashing. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So small little inside. That one looks interesting on a daily chart. Biggest concern would be our first stop, which was 27.98. That would give me my biggest concern. We're obviously going into a massive volume candle. So there's a lot of people in this thing short too. That's probably going to want to keep this thing under $28. So I would look at it 2 ways. You guys aren't going to like it, but I would look at this thing 2 ways. It's either take the shot to go long on this thing, but be comfortable losing the R. Probably have your stop somewhere around 26.42. That would give you decent risk reward. That would be breaking down the indecision candle. And if it goes, it goes. I think it's going to be met with a little bit of, with all that selling that came in, I think this thing could get met with a little bit more resistance in the bullish direction. Almost do something like this, and then maybe come down, and then with some time, I think this one would make sense. You can't really short it. It's just 2 massive big down days. It's about 4 red candles in a row. Shorting is tough. But just where that volume came in, I think that's a good spot, the $28 range where people want to hold this thing back. That being said, maybe not. Maybe it could break through. If it does, you're going to start getting some of those squeezes on your side a little bit. And then you probably have a bigger target up to here. So it's not bad. I like the gap. I like this little inside consolidation. It looks primed to go. My question is how far? But having taken a shot on it definitely could make some sense, right? Worst case, I think you could probably get in filled, and then maybe we get a little pullback, and you could get your stops up there, and now you're taking some risk off the table. So risk reward is not bad. You still got all your moving averages way up there. It's due for some kind of bounce. Emily says, great morning to all. It's going to be a great day because we get to make it great. Oh, I love that attitude. Even on a Monday, that's my like Friday attitude. But having that, man, that's just perspective. Just change that whole attitude to the beginning of the week instead of the end. Yep, nobody eats chicken anymore, apparently. Apparently, nobody eats chicken. Don't tell Chick-fil-A. This is what happens when you close on Sunday, I guess. Yeah, massive gap down there. So they had earnings. They missed on earnings. I don't think I feel like it wasn't that bad, to be honest. Let me see if I can see it real quick. I don't know if they cut dividends or anything. But yeah, they missed by almost 500 million in revenue. They missed by, so they actually missed by 0.83, 83 cents on the earnings per share. All right, so it was actually a decent miss. And that looks all sorts of prime to probably continue to break down. It is Tyson Chicken. I mean, Tyson Foods, they should be relatively stable, I would think. And that is definitely a little bit more of a surprise miss, to be honest. Not really a lot supporting this thing from going down further. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. I mean, I'm going back really, really far on this thing. I'm not seeing any reason as to where this should stop unless we get some kind of just consolidation into here. But yeah, probably can see prices on this thing eventually at 47.50. Again, it doesn't really move that much in a day. Today might be a little bit different because you should be trapping. Did we run up into these earnings or did we sell off into them? Kind of ran up into them. So we are trapping some decent amount of bulls on this thing. A little bit of a double bottom. We finally got the new higher high. We pulled back. That was a rest, taking profit. One new push out of the gate. And yeah. We'll keep it on the list. We're going to throw it right now to the top. If I was going to short something so far, this would be my short if I could get into it. There's also a gap and go technically from yesterday, but we're breaking all types of support on this one. So that one might get a little bit fun. Ron says Emily spot on. Albert says AAL. Brio wants SE. Scott wants snow. I only got a pen thing killed my time, I think. I don't know. All right, we got American Airlines. Nice little gap up. This should be a retest. You are into some kind of support. So I would look to fade this thing down. Probably at least into about 1407. So you have about 30 cents to the downside. Maybe that breaches. I would not really want to hold it through it, but if it can, the next spot would be about 1394. You can make a little extra. So maybe take most off at roughly 1407. And then you're looking to probably, if you're going to carry some shares, get another 6 cents on those shares. But I think that's a fadeable gap. There's a small group that would say that DraftKings saved the market. Probably very small group. Yeah. Like 2 people, maybe. That's still too many people to name. So I don't know. It's going to be a mystery. Repco says Snow has a nice gap. Yep. So second request for Snow. Let's get to that one. Yes, it does. Good thing DJ took out a a TTM squeeze, held it for the break. Felt real good about selling about 35% gains on one day, only to be missing out now. But yes, nice little gap on Snowflake. They've been building some momentum. I still like them bullish. That's a really, really good gap and go. I don't know if it's too spready for day trades. We're gonna put that on my list. I like that one a lot. Next target on this thing, and especially because I've been bullish a little bit, the 162.70 is going to be my next stop to the higher side, then probably 163.30. After that would be the nicer move. That takes us to about 170. So, yeah. Let's try to make some money on that one. I like it. We've got some room. First target's coming in a little close, but maybe we get some kind of initial selling out of the gate. Airbnb, do they have earnings? I know their earnings are coming up soon, I believe. Nope, no earnings on the Airbnb. So tomorrow, I think they report after the bell, if I'm not mistaken. That's a good gap and go. Yeah, we'll throw this one a little bit higher on the list too. I like the gap. We might be coming into a little bit of resistance somewhere around 123.75. So I like Snow a little bit better than Airbnb, but I do like Airbnb for that gap and go. So that one looks kind of sweet. We've been just in this range, and that's a nice little gap. So again, probably a little pop. I think we get some chop and then it breaks. So I don't know if we need the first trade out of the gate on that one. Way too much competition now in that field. Which field is that one? Airbnb or DraftKings? DraftKings got no competitors. It's great. They crushed them all. And Tyson Chicken. They have competitors, but not many. Not to the extent. I mean, you're looking at Purdue. Tyson's massive. So like, yeah, there's other competitors that are coming into the market and all that, but they're so tiny compared to Tyson. Like Tyson has pricing power. Tyson has already operations set up everywhere, so it's just a little different. Goldman Sachs, so we sort of financials just moved crazy on Friday, helping to drive the market to ridiculous highs on. I don't know. I mean, you saw. I think it was like Wall up 80%, or Pac W was up 80%. Wall was up like 50%, something like that. It's crazy. That's, I think, how banks are supposed to move. Mm-hmm. They were outpacing tech stocks. That's how crazy banks are. But you got a little bit of a retest gap here, kind of in no man's land at the open. So I don't know that I would short this thing down to play the fade right away. I would wait to see what happens. If you could get up into the probably 332.26 range, that would be a really nice spot to short. Otherwise, if it wants to decide to retest first, then you're probably looking to buy it off of 327.39. So I wouldn't do anything out of the gate because you are about 50% retracement. You're sitting at one little retest or one little retest of a VPOC. So maybe that's the spot, and we probably get the fade first, and then you're looking to go long somewhere around, like I mentioned, 327.39. 78-minute candles. I have 78-minute candles. Yeah. But we're not on that one right now. 78-minute candles, that just makes 5 candles a day. It's a Matt DeLong indicator. We use it for Momo a lot. All right, we got Palantir with a little bit of a gap up. Did they have earnings yet? No, I don't see it. There you have it today, it looks like. Probably after the bell, you're going to get some Palantir. So I don't know, but that's a good gap. Yep, for sure. Lots and lots of volume. And again, I don't know if they reported it yet or not. According to TradingView, they haven't, but they do report today. So lots and lots of volume on that high wave. Good little break. Resistance is right in front of you, though. $7.76. I would imagine people are going to take some profits on this gap up if you were bullish or buying bullish, especially ahead of earnings. But anytime you have earnings coming out, things get a little bit wonky. And we'll see if we can start breaking 781. Next stop takes you to about 797. So not too much room we need that bullish catalyst. We're going to need the earnings for Palantir to really take off, I think. Otherwise, probably a little bit more of a fade on that one and Shop City. All right. No, I didn't make it through the entire list. Let me know if you guys got any other stocks out there that are kind of going crazy or moving. Otherwise, Disney does report this week, so Disney would be the other one people are going to watch. That one is coming on Wednesday, I think. Alex wants to take a look at PayPal. So Disney, a little bit of a retest gap. Probably a better spot if you're going to try to short this thing is 101.70. What I would expect and want to see is probably actually go long on Disney. And that would be a pullback into look to go long somewhere about $100.64. But that is a pretty good little gap and go continuation would make sense after a small little pullback. So we'll watch Disney, see if we get that pullback. PayPal. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this one. Big, massive green day. Technically, that should be a retest. We are opening above a decent gap. Slight little resistance above us, so somewhere around the 76.56. I would probably play that there's profits being taken. Some good volume on this one. Man, we were opening above that gap. Means all of those bears are now officially donezo and trapped. Honestly, I think this one gets only maybe a small little pullback, if anything, and then has ability to pop to about 79.24. And for that to happen, we got to get through a whole bunch of these, not really a whole bunch, but a decent amount of really good VPOCs. 78.18 would really be my first stop. All right. We'll throw it up here. Technically, it's a retest first, so let's see if we could get that pullback, because that would give me, like, if we get a pullback, first stop of the pullback is about 75, 73. If that thing breaks, we're getting probably back down to the $74.98, $75 range. If I get that, I get good risk reward. Otherwise, I don't know if this one fades as much as we think it might. But we are at some kind of resistance, so I would expect probably some type of little pullback. Oh, you got earnings tonight too. I didn't even see that. Yep, so definitely just day trade, not swing. Don't hold that thing overnight. The other stock that we have for a swing that we took out in the room was Chewy. It's got a little bit ways to go. Nice little breakout on Friday. Going to be met with some resistance. We're kind of in that zone for now, but probably expect some kind of little fade. And then I'm looking for continuation out of the gate. Haven't moved stops yet, but probably after the end of today. So providing that this day is just not a massive trap day and all selling, which it doesn't seem like it. We shouldn't get stopped out on this thing. We'll be able to move our stops up a little bit, but I'll probably do that after the bell today as well. Since we looked at PayPal, let's take a look at Square. And then we got one for Weight Watchers. Square, nothing really exciting. PayPal does look more exciting than Square. WW. Weight Watchers International. We're starting to get up in this resistance zone a little bit. I think we still got a little bit more room on this thing to 979. But there's a good break of a double top here on the daily. So this one would have to go on the list is pretty high. And I'd probably still have to play this thing bullish. AMD's popping a little bit right now as we speak. So let's take a look if we have time with 2 minutes left. Obviously, AMD got that decent bullish news, partnering with Microsoft. Going to be the AI play. And at least pre-market, we're at $90. And we're just still at that little resistance. But you do have two decent, not even decent. I mean, this is the gap drop. So that entire gap drop has been closed, has been covered. And if we can break 90, we're probably heading closer to 92.56. I do think longer term, you probably hit $97 on AMD. So I wouldn't mind buying pullbacks on AMD and then looking to probably take some kind of profits about $97. But NVIDIA's just been kicking its butt. So AMD has much more room than NVIDIA does. Roblox with a nice gap. RBLX. Yeah, that does look like a decent gap. I hate Roblox, but it might actually be my favorite gap of the day. Snow looks really good. Snow looks good, and probably maybe Unity software. Unity software is also going to go pretty high on my list as well. Oh no, the bell already. All right, we'll see what happens. I'm seeing if we get a little pullback, and if we could, great. We'll try to take things long. I definitely want to go long today. Everybody in YouTube land, appreciate you guys joining this each and every day. Make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell if you have not done so already. Be safe out there in the markets, and we will catch you.